I mean, seriously, this keyboard has everything you would want in a gaming keyboard. From solid PBT keycaps to adjustable switches, which we'll talk a lot more about, a nice tactile media dial, 2 shortcuts, which I really utilize this a lot. As you see right now, the RGB is white. I got it in work mode, actuation 2.5. Come over here, press it, it'll go into game mode, so I get my 0.7 actuation for fast gaming. But again, if I'm typing or working, I don't want those typos, simple, easy press, bam, and I'm into my 2.5 actuation. You also have all your notifications right over here, which is super cool because you can adjust everything right on the keyboard. As you're seeing here, right on your little quick guide, and there's a lot you can adjust, so you might be keeping this on your desk. You see, you got the snap tap, your profiles, your actuation point, your rapid trigger, and all of this can be adjusted right on the board. And again, it gives you the notifications. So say for over on the board, we go function cap locks, you're gonna see it light up over here, and I can adjust my actuation. You see the light going along right there? Now, one thing I do wish, same with the previous one, I wish the numbers were listed there. You can see on the quick guide, they actually show you the numbers. I wish that was actually imprinted on the keyboard just for a reminder. So again, you're not gonna be like, wait, which actuation is actually in the middle? Because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 0.1, 0.4, 0.8, 1.2. So it actually goes up in increments right there. But again, super cool. You got your actuation adjust, your snap tap active, and then also your rapid trigger right on the board. And as far as the build of this board, it feels very nice and premium. As you see, you got that aluminum top case going all the way around it, and it lips around the edges. It's not just sandwiched on the top, so that prevents any of that flex, and it just gives you that really nice premium feel. Now underneath it, it is plastic. As you see, for gamers by gamers, Razer branding there. Then you have your rubber feet going all the way around. Your USB-C port is on the back left of the board, plenty big, so you're gonna be able to fit any custom keyboard in there. And you have 2 levels of pop-out feet. But I caught myself always using it just in the stock form, as you got that nice stock ergonomic incline, as you can see right there. Very cozy. But it does also come with a wrist rest. Not my favorite, as you can see. It's just low profile. It does magnetize to the board, but it's firm. It's not soft. Me personally, if I use a wrist rest, I like them soft. This one is firm, so maybe better for gaming, but if I use a wrist rest, it's for typing. Me personally, I like that stock ergonomic incline right here, and it is just very cozy. And a cool little side story here where I truly stand behind what I'm saying about this board. Like, no gimmicks, no fluff or anything like that, but I was recently in New York for the briefings on the new Razer, like the Death Adder V3 Pro in their headset, right? And they had this keyboard sitting off in the corner. We got all these Razer reps, some of the product team and stuff, the PR and stuff like that. And I don't know if I was supposed to touch this board, but it was just sitting off on the side over there. We weren't there for that. It was, again, the mouse and the headset. And I just went over there and started touching on his keyboard. And I go to them, I said, man, this feels really nice. What keyboard is this? And they just go, oh yeah, that feels a little bit different, doesn't it? I'm like, yeah, it does, you know. And then I went back to the product supposed to be talking about. I never looked on the back to see what it was, but just like, man, that keyboard felt really good. It was just in the back of my mind. And lo and behold, like a month later, they had the briefing for this. And I asked them, I said, was this the keyboard I was touching on, feeling on in New York? And they said, yes, it was. So again, it just setting right there and now coming to life right here, just truly set it in, which is just a cool little experience. And just the overall feel of the keyboard when using it just feels so much better. The switches, I don't know if it's like more lube or whatever, but they just feel absolutely butter smooth. I know I can't do that in a sound test or anything, but they feel so darn good. You remember the previous ones? They used to have a lot of noise when you shake them. You don't have that right here. The only area that can use some work is the space bar. Like I don't know what they can do. They got the dampening foam actually in the board. And you can see you got no opening for the spacebar there. Maybe they put foam in the spacebar. That would have been pretty nice. And maybe that could have reduced it because you're just getting that open ping from, again, the spacebar down onto the top aluminum casing. So maybe that could have fixed it. But other than that, just typing on it and feeling it, oh my gosh, it feels so good for a gaming keyboard. Now, you heard the sound test in the beginning of the video. I'll give you a quick one here. The microphone is actually up on my shirt at ear level, so you'll get a true raw sound of the keyboard, not a microphone up here with sound dampening, this, that, or the other. This is, again, at ear level. So hopefully that was a good example for you guys. Leaving the microphone right here, which is pretty much right at ear level, rather than putting it up in the mic as you heard in the beginning of the video, or like we always do with sound tests, right? You're not gonna be typing like that whenever you're gaming, right? You're gonna just have it back here. So hopefully that relayed and portrayed the actual sound of the keyboard. The only thing I can only express to you guys, and I can't really demonstrate on video, is the feel of this. Like, my gosh, these keys, you just wanna sit here and just constantly press them. It feels so good. Now, taking a quick look at Synapse, a lot of this stuff you're gonna be very familiar with if you've had one of the previous keyboards. You have some presets in here, which again can be adjusted right on the board, and then you can save your own presets and again, customize that to the board as well. But going down here, now you have 8,000 polling rate. While you're seeing it in 1,000 right now is I'm in work mode. Again, if I just hit this button right up here, which I have, again, you can see to previous profile as you can customize it here. But I got mine in previous profile, so whenever I set that, it comes to gaming, and you see it comes to 4,000, and that's what I used for gaming, is just 4,000. I don't mess with 8,000. Again, 4,000 is heck, 1,000 is perfectly fine. You know, the high polling rate's like the modern day RGB craze, you know what I mean? But it has it if you think that's gonna do you any better, right? Switch dead zone over here. You got gamepad settings, which I never mess with any of this. That's a big wooting thing, I guess, you know? So again, you have all that over here. You got keyboard input pass-through and gamepad override again. That's stuff I really don't mess with. Then you have hyper shift. Come over here to actuation. This is where you can get into the good stuff over here, where you can select all keys, and you have snap tap, your actuation. Again, this is as far as my work profile. I'm gonna press this. I'll go right into my game profile, select all keys, and you can see I keep snap tap on, which you can actually add up to 4. You go over here, add new, and you add up to 4. I just use my A and D, and this is something I need. Again, you all heard me talk many times. I can go without adjustable actuation even, but I need snap tap. I know everyone's gonna say it's banned in some games, whatever. Okay, it's not banned in my games, right? So again, over here, actuation, and my game mode is set to 0.7. You can go to 0.1, down to 4. Let's get back to my 0.7, so don't forget to set it over there. And then again, you got over here, make sure you select all keys when you're adjusting this stuff. If you don't, you're not gonna be able to adjust it. So you gotta select all keys over here. Then you got, or you can select whichever ones you want. But anyways, you got rapid trigger and then continuous rapid trigger. I don't mess with rapid trigger. Again, I pretty much utilize snap tap. But all of this, again, as I showed you previously, can be adjusted on the board, and it shows you right on your quick start guide or your shortcut guide, whatever. Then as far as lighting, pretty much standard. You got your brightness, you got your quick effects, or you got advanced effects if you want to go into chroma. I just use standard quick effects. So Synapse is fairly basic, to the point, as we're all used to, which I really like. It's pretty streamlined and very easy to use. But the coolest thing is how everything can be adjusted right on the keyboard. Now I want to talk real quick about performance on this board here, as I'm now playing a lot of Battlefield 6. My gosh, that game is great. It's bringing me back to the original OG Battlefield days, right? Big Battlefield. I think I'm going to skip Call of Duty this year because Battlefield's so good. Anyways, this isn't a video about Battlefield, right? It's about this keyboard. And let me tell you what, the performance of it, like I said in the beginning of the video, it has everything you would want for a gaming keyboard. As I just showed you in the customization of the software, half of the features I don't even use, right? Half of them you won't even use, but you got the options if you're going to use it. You know what I mean? And that's what's so good about it. Again, for me, it just did what I wanted as far as gaming. It got my actuation. The switches felt amazing, right? And then I can go right into work mode with that shortcut right there. It was just, I was able to utilize it in whatever situation. Now I can sit here and talk about like marketing fluff all day long as far as Razer with their adjustable switches that are, the optical ones, right? So they'll say like the magnets on a magnetic switch, some of them won't have the same, I don't know, magnetization or whatever, and some of it will fade over time, but with the optical sensor here, it's just the same, and they're tested in the factory, and they never again adjust or wear or whatever like that. The longevity lasts longer. Let me just tell you what, I've used so many keyboards. I still use some magnetic ones and everything, and I have headphones and stuff with other magnets sitting around them. I never noticed any of them failing. Again, I'm not like a high-end competitive esports player, but I like winning, and I play a lot of FPS, you know what I mean? And I never noticed anything right there. As far as longevity, I'm cycling through products so much, I can't really speak on that, I would say, you know. But what I can tell you, not talking marketing fluff or any of this stuff in like reviewer's guide, talking about my actual user's experience. And one of the best things about the new Razer Huntsman V3 Pro TKL 8K, which it also comes in a full-size variation as well, but they kept it the same price as the previous version, the regular V3 Pro, not the 8K version. And that is super cool to see, right? It's still $220 for the TKL, and I believe $250 for the full size. And I know there's gonna be the keyboard snobs out there, oh, it's too expensive, go buy the random Chinese one off eBay or Amazon or something like that, right? But again, the feel and everything just packed into this board, I think it truly justifies that. I really like this board, and it's super cool to see them keep it at that same price point. You talk the 8K or whatever, the enhancements onto it as far as the dampening and everything, and then tariffs or whatever political things going on, still keeping at that same MSRP. That I like to see. So I say good job, Razer, on this one.